To Put This On, Season 5, Episode 2, where we watch 90 Day Fiancé Quarantine Edition, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz.
Noah Singer.
Brian Houston.
Max Funny Name.
Funny name? Real funny.
Yeah, thanks.
That was a good one, Max.
So this is a very topical show. I mean, it's a little late, but I think that we've given enough time to be in quarantine to actually talk about being in quarantine more. So I guess part of this show will be us talking about our own quarantine. You know, a couple months after, like, weird to say, months after these people on this show specifically. But, Brian, why don't you give us a show description here?
Sure. For the couples featured across the 90 Day Fiancé franchise, their relationships have been tested by distance, cultural, and religious differences, skeptical families, language barriers, and much more. Now, like the rest of the world, their lives and love are facing an unfathomable challenge of the global coronavirus pandemic. That's 90 Day Fiancé self-quarantined on TLC.
Yeah. So this show essentially comes down to, like, going through people living their lives, and they've been on 90 Day Fiancé, which I've seen a couple seasons, so, like, I could give some feedback on a couple people, but, like, general just, like, random ass people. And some are good, and some are not.
Yeah. Yeah, it really feels like they were just passing around an iPhone camera to different houses on the block. We have some backstory about each house.
Yeah, it seems like you could have just went to a block on the street and be like, okay, record some diary, and we'll edit it together for a show.
It's fascinating because, like, the camera work is not professional at all, but the editing is. So it's this, like, weird. Everything about the show is weird.
It really reminded me a little bit of, like, just watching, like, home movies and stuff. But it's like, sometimes it was good, sometimes it was just utterly terrible. And you also wanted to see, like, some of the worst moments, but they just didn't show those.
I don't know if I want to see the worst moments.
I want to see a spicy moment. I want to see something entertaining. Because, spoilers, nothing about the show is entertaining. Watching people do what you do every day is so fucking boring.
I mean, I don't even.
And you know what? When they diverge from what you're doing every day, great, I love it. It's entertaining. Somebody is complaining about how they don't have any groceries, but they're also spending $400 on shirts. Great, I love that shit.
Yeah, I mean, some of these were more entertaining than others. Like, you could watch, like, Robin Williams sit in his house, make jokes, like that. You could do. Could you watch, like, some Joe Schmo, like, sit in front of his computer for 8 hours working all day? Like, no, like, that's that's boring.
People do that all the time on Twitch. You just pop on your terminal and you start coding, and people watch that shit for some unknown reason.
Yeah, like 2 people.
People still do it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get through this. So, like, the show, they have 5 people or couples, or used to be couples, on the show. You get, like, a 5-10 minute segment on their life, where they are right now in this quarantine situation. So, like, there isn't anything really fancy about it. So let's just start with couple question mark number 1, which is Colt. He's 34. He's a software engineer. He's a slot machine engineer.
In
He's
Vegas.
married to Larissa. They're officially
Now divorced.
So, like, this, the most immediate thing here is we wanted to turn this fucking show off almost immediately, because this guy is terrible. Just the worst. Like, whoever put him first needs to get fired.
Right.
Correction. We have seen some terrible, horrible people on 90 Day Fiancé. This guy is just boring. He's not a terrible person.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. It's terrible in a way that I didn't want to watch it.
He shares his home with his mom. That's his words. And 6 cats. And that's his life.
Yeah.
This house is the cats.
It's a cat's house. Like, yeah, he's a decent guy, but he is not entertaining. No, I think that is the shortfall. Just to build on Chris's point, like you turn the show. This is episode 1. It's like give us the bait, give us the catnip. Like let's draw you in, and you're not getting drawn in. It's this guy really trying to get his mom to be on Instagram. That's how it feels like. He's like, Mom, the camera's on you. And they go around the house. They even have the cats around. They could have done a lot of cat shit. They didn't do a lot of cat shit.
It was just a normal guy. He was working out. He was hanging out with his mom. His cat was there. It was kind of depressing because they were kind of depressed. You were just like, okay, we're all in quarantine, okay.
I get it.
Live in his house. It's not great. I get it.
It's not interesting at all because that's what everyone's doing. That's what everyone who's watching this show is doing.
Yeah, it's what we're doing. It's honestly what we're doing without the guys.
It was not interesting in March. It was not interesting in June. Also, holy fuck, it's June. Jesus fuck.
Yeah, so it's this show premiered in April, and they must have been filming in early April. This is 2 months later.
Yeah, they some of the snippets, they did timestamp it a little bit. So, for the Vegas one, I think they mentioned they were 12 days into their quarantine. So you can kind of back out into it, but it's probably mid to late March for most of these tapings.
Yeah. It's a little, the show premiered in mid-April, so couldn't be much earlier.
No.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that, the minutia I've got for this guy, other than he was terrible, is he got fired. That was really depressing. And he just give me a drink. That was his, that's all the emotion you got out of this guy, and he just got fired.
I want to talk. Brian, go ahead.
I will say that was the most realistic thing because that's something that a lot of people are going through. So maybe they did put it right where this is what spoke to a lot of people. So then let me hear about this person and how they're dealing with it.
But he did
to challenge that this was realistic.
Really?
Here's what they showed us on the screen. They have the camera on him. His phone rings. You hear the voice line, so I get a call. You don't hear anything else. And then he goes and tells his mom and says, well, I got a call. I've been fired. Or I don't have a job anymore. Here's the thing. How did he know to have a camera on him when he got the call? Unless... And
he's recording 24/7.
Honestly, that's entirely possible, but I want to talk to you about my conspiracy theory, which is the show forced him to do a dramatic recreation of his own fire.
Exactly.
I agree.
All right. Yeah, I think he got fired. I feel I
think he got fired. I think it's just before that.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. I don't know.
That could also just generally fit the mood of the entire thing. It's okay, you're already depressed, so even if you have to record some of this stuff again or start recording, it's just you're already in this mode.
Yeah, I just don't. I might agree with you because I don't believe his reaction at all in any aspect.
I don't believe his reaction, but the one thing that goes against the conspiracy theory is if they were trying to make this a scene, they would have had better liquor than butterscotch schnapps to drink the pain away.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that was a terrible choice. But seriously, they also said, I think they said they didn't really drink that much, so.
Who buys butterscotch schnapps?
But that,
Rumplemans.
That's not in a bar.
Rumplemans is way better than that. Come on, schnapps is not bad. Butterscotch schnapps.
What's the proof on that? 15?
No. Schnapps is usually pretty high.
Really.
I believe peppermint schnapps and other schnapps probably have the same ABV.
Yeah, they're 50.
I feel schnapps just means it's whatever. Anyway, we're getting away from this. One last thing I want to bring up before we move away from our boy Colts, Bill, whatever. It's the first thing we see is almost him getting a call from his personal trainer to do a workout. And it's just like, we really want to see this like overweight guy do a workout. Immediately as I start the show, it's just like really jarring. Like, it's great that he's doing a workout. Great for him. And like, part of it was like trying to eat healthy, which is great. Love it. But like, that's just not, this is just a weird tone to set for the show. It's so mystifying to have this guy be first. I'm sorry. Can't not talk about it.
I completely agree.
I do wonder, because I'm not in the 90 Day Fiancé cinematic universe, is Colt just a very popular character where people are now like, oh, it's Colt, awesome.
That might be the case. That's my best guess.
There's no other explanation.
Yeah, because they also said that like him and his wife split up. Like, did they say that his wife's in jail?
They did like we briefly heard something about how she was arrested. We needed Did you look it up?
Yeah, they really glossed over how she got put to jail for like the third time or something. It was very quick.
Noah, did you internet quarter that?
I'll do it now.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the second couple, which we have is Annie and David. Annie's 27. David is 50.
51.
51. Sorry. And what they did, they went to like, they dropped off toilet paper at their friend's house, and they were just hanging out their house as like everyone. But I can't provide minutia because I have seen the season with these two people.
Interesting. Okay. So I can talk about my initial reaction. My initial reaction was, ew, gross, he's double her age. But they are actually really cute and respectful together. He'll go to the Asian grocery store with her. They seemed all right. They were the highlight of the show.
He is all in. Like there's no question marks here. He's all in on this one for sure.
Yeah.
I wish they started the episode out with them, because they start out with a wholesome moment. Hey, we're like visiting our friends and like getting some toilet paper action going, and they were just so wholesome. So it would have been a happy start.
Yeah, I think the reason they didn't do that is they touched on it a little bit in the episode where like they're not a big fan of the community doesn't seem to be a big fan of their relationship. Some sort of anti-Asian sentiment going on, which I don't even know what that is, and I've seen the season, so like maybe it's Ever After.
I think they were saying it from the virus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. I thought it was like anti-Asian for their like relationship. So I guess I read that wrong.
There was a guy running around Ballard giving Asian people a hard time. He got arrested like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I do remember hearing that. Yeah, so essentially I'll give you kind of a rundown of what happened in their season. So like most of their season ended up with like, so David is like a divorce. He's got like, I don't know, 3 kids in their like 20s or 30s, and like not like, essentially he just like abandoned them at some point and went to, when they got divorced, he like moved to Vietnam for like a couple years or a year or so, and then met Annie. And then he like, the whole season was David like trying to get money from his friend to get Annie back to the US and to marry her, because he didn't have any money because he just moved to Vietnam and doesn't have a job. And like all the money got sent, like lost in the divorce. So most of the season was about that. But like overall, it seemed like they were a fine couple, but like, you know, the age gap is a little severe, and who knows if she wants another like set of kids. Like I can't imagine. I forget what the situation was there. But
yeah, they're 24 years apart. That's significant.
Fucking nuts.
It's pretty significant. Also, like the difference between his season and now is like he's gained a ton of weight. He like looks like he's gained like 100 pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, it's serious. It's not good.
I think it'd be really interesting if they made a show exploring love between an age gap called Age Gap Love.
Is that the reality show we're gonna produce?
No, we've already watched it before we put this on.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Watched too many of these things, man.
It's called Age Gap Love.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
Wow.
it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore.
Ugh.
It's,
That was
I
a
think
wild
it's
show.
British.
It was
If
definitely
you think
British.
24 is bad, could be worse.
So, do you think any of these couples, like, there is real love there, or it's a partnership in disguise?
This one seemed pretty real.
You can very easily tell the real ones from the fake ones, I feel. Like, I've watched, I guess, 2 seasons of 90 Day Fiancé. They're few and far between, but when they're real, you know for sure.
And you think these guys are real? David and Annie.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, I think they're real because there was a great moment where she was in her super duck pajamas and just whipping it with a cat of nine tails.
So,
there's definitely some like sexy time
oh, yeah.
in the pajamas. That was like they seem very wholesome moments. I don't know. I feel like they spent a lot of time before they got married too in their season. Like it all depends on like how long they've actually spent together. I
Yeah.
think before they get married. A lot of these people like
Just get
90
married
days
ASAP.
is like the longest they ever spent, like by far together. You know.
Yeah.
This guy lived in Vietnam. They hung out. They were like, we're around each other a lot.
Mm.
But
Yeah, the one
I
thing
think
that
it's
threw
easy
me
to.
off.
Go ahead, Noah.
The one thing that threw me off about Annie was like she felt desperate for that influencer TikTok feel. Like she really wanted to like create a trend or create a meme, and it wasn't happening.
But like,
I-
did that have anything to do with the relationship?
I didn't get any of that personally, but
No, I just felt like she kept trying to like overproduce herself, like very much try to dance and be doing
that's
something.
fair, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you're filming a TV show without any producers. You're just filming this camera. Like, you don't want to be that first guy that's just like fucking boring as shit. Like, come on. Like, you gotta do something. Like, you can't just like sit there and, well, we're sitting on the couch watching Tiger King. Like, because that's what we were doing.
That is fair.
There is one more thing I want to mention with these guys is that their outing is this dumb toilet paper thing. It really dates the show because, like, it's no longer that much of an issue for people.
Yeah. This isn't the only segment with the toilet paper.
Oh, this is just the beginning.
Yeah. But yeah, it definitely does date. Like if you go out now, you could go definitely get toilet paper and paper towels. Like, but it is weird. Like when the next guy later in the episode shows like the shelf is just flat out empty.
Sure.
Even when I went at the like when they said that it wasn't empty, you could get like the shitty stuff was still there.
Our city was kind of a weird situation with that.
I couldn't find toilet paper in the first few weeks, or like maybe no, it was like the first week or two. It was definitely like dry. I'll take the contrarian view. I actually do like they're showing like the whole toilet paper thing. Like it ages itself, but I think it does so in a way that documents like, yeah, that is legitimate. You know, it wasn't just something you read in the paper. So
Sure. Yeah.
you know, maybe kids in school will be watching this show in 30 years.
That's actually a really fascinating take I had not considered. This is a really cool sort of like documentary. Hey, here's what life was during this weird period.
Yeah. People will be watching this in the next pandemic in 100 years. Like, what did people do? Here we go. We got this show. You can watch it.
I can't
Try
watch
5
this
years.
cult guy.
How come they weren't wearing T-shirts? What's wrong with them?
Well, some other minutia I have around this couple is like they were driving around and they mentioned no traffic. Like that is definitely a thing. Like you can walk like there's no traffic really in general still to this day. There's more now, but like at the time you could go wherever you wanted and there was minimal traffic, if any. And the funny thing that happened was like Annie was like next in the kitchen. She was like, I heard this like knocking, and I was like, what is it? She thought it was a ghost. She thought she had a ghost in her refrigerator, but no, it was the ice machine.
That was great. That was a great moment.
I thought that was really funny. She played that really well.
Good catch.
There was also a time where she was trying to say pajama, but she kept saying pagina. And I thought that was funny.
Yep.
And then one time they were like getting into bed for sexy time. So David must have just put on a shirt and he put on his polo inside out. And I thought that was also kind of funny.
It was good. Yeah, it was very endearing.
Yeah, it was definitely like the highlight of the episode. Definitely should have been first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the next couple, in quotes, we have is Courtney, 29. She is a friend named Andy, but she was on the show with somebody named Antonio. So this is weird. So Courtney is living with Andy during this quarantine, and Andy calls her his girlfriend. But Courtney is like, no, we're just friends, and I'm just banging you and sleeping in your house and eating all your food, and like,
And also being a brand ambassador for your period cup company.
and it's just like, it's hard to tell how much she's using him or he's like delusional. Like this is so weird to me.
Oh yeah.
Like what she tries to paint this picture is that Andy is they're just constantly fighting, and Andy keeps yelling at her, which we don't see any of it because she claims that he won't do it on camera, which I don't know, makes kind of sense. I don't know. And then, and that's why they're not in a real relationship, even though they kind of seem like they're in a real relationship. Like she needs to get out. Like it's very confusing.
Status update, it's complicated. I mean, realistically, it could be like something, hey, she cut it off with Antonio, like starting things with this guy, but then it's like, well, okay, this didn't work out, and I really rushed into this. Like, why am I trying to do this? Combined with the anger issues, like, that's not really going to be ending up well. At least I would bet.
Why doesn't she just move home?
That you can't really get flights and stuff. Like, that was it. Like, she's stuck there.
She didn't seem like she was far from her house.
She spoke to it. She didn't want to be near her parents because she wasn't sure if she was carrying the coronavirus.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, but quarantine yourself for 14 days and go back.
Yeah, she could have done that.
She's essentially done it, probably at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Like, but Brian, to your point, I'm less sympathetic because like she just wasn't having a trusting dialogue with Andy. Yet she's there around him 24/7, and clearly she had no intention of being his girlfriend, and so I didn't feel as bad for her because I would have rather her be truthful.
Yeah, like I definitely got hints of that, and like I like that thing. I'm just trying to think that like maybe there's like a little bit on her side where it's like I can't even open up in this. Like even just being there 24/7, it can go either way. I'm trying to take the lighter side. Who the hell knows what's going to go on though? Maybe we'll see more in episode 2.
That's a good point. There definitely could be something there why she can't be. She also can't leave that situation, which would be tough.
Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't seem like in a great situation at all.
Not at all.
The more shocking thing about this episode, I didn't realize period cups, 1, was a thing, and 2, that it's lucrative enough to buy a Tesla. This seems to be like a real market.
Wait, yeah. What is the Tesla comment?
The guy had a Tesla at his house.
Oh.
This is a guy who is independently rich who is getting into other things, and for some reason he chose period cups. I mean, you know what? All the power to him.
That's a great business. It's just like, hey, here's this reusable thing, and then now all of a sudden everybody's saving money. They're just making bank because it actually works.
Well,
hell yeah.
Brian, when you say great business and you say reusable, that doesn't really work out.
No,
No people coming back.
It's going to wear it at some point, but it's going to be like more reusable than like single-use tampons or pads.
No, I'm just saying, like, as a business, you want, like, you're selling tampons, that's like a lot more money than selling you one cup that you use for like 5 years or however long it lasts. I don't know. Could last forever, for all I know.
Definitely not.
The market's limited.
That didn't work out for Craftsman. Then they had to like lower the quality a little bit. You got to get that like right balance.
Don't buy any of them anymore. So.
So you have all heard of period cups before this? I wasn't the only one.
Yes, you're the only one.
I would say I heard of it. I didn't really know what the difference was. I just knew it was an alternative.
I didn't actually see one before, if that helps. So, like, in this episode, they, like, show one, and then she says, like, what size do you think my vagina is? And then,
that was great.
Then the dude was like, it's not about the size, it's about the flow. And then, so I didn't know what one looked like before, but I think it comes down to, in schools, you weren't really taught that that was a thing. If you were taught anything, Noah, so, like, I don't know.
I don't think we learned about periods in the boys' like health class. Like I think they told you like periods exist, but not to the depth on like how do you take care of it.
I'd love to get into your school situation, Noah, but like I just can't.
This isn't the time and place.
Hey guys, can I get into my school system real quick?
Before you do that,
okay.
So they also had a terrible. So they also had a toilet paper exchange situation.
Yeah.
Which kind of looked like a drug deal, but it was fucking bad. They just got like him and some other guy in a parking lot, 2 cars. The friend is like, all right, here's this pack of toilet paper. Whoop, toss it over, and just failed. Worst way to just deal with this entire situation. Terrible drug deal.
You gotta quarantine.
You gotta, but like you can, I don't know, get like a little slidey thing or fucking chuck it. It's a pack of toilet paper.
It's fine. Yeah, that's all I've got for this person. I think she's like the second worst. After.
No, this wasn't a runner-up for that.
Let's go into
rating. Yeah, I got you.
Let's rate them at the end.
Okay.
So after that, we've got Danielle. She's 47. She's been quarantined for 3 weeks. She was divorced Mohammed from the show. There are 7 people in this house, which were unclear how big it is, but there are 2 bathrooms. So you've got her daughter, her son, and fiancé, or something like that, and then 3 grandkids, with 1 on the way.
Yep.
She works with mentally handicapped adults, so she's still working. She has 2 more daughters not in this house, so she's got a pretty big family. Her youngest daughter is about to graduate. But like the biggest thing is like, how are you gonna have a kid in this house with 7 other people in it? Like, that's just nuts.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be awake. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like 7 people with 2 bathrooms, that's rough. Good thing no one has like the one kid is working at the grocery store, so but like good thing everyone doesn't have to work at like 8 a.m. or that would be disaster.
I have to wonder, like, is this a bubble thing for me? Like, I'm curious what % of Americans live in a household with, like, 7 people. I know the average is, like, it's 2.2 kids. I don't know what the household average is.
I wonder if this is just, like, a corona thing, or is this, like, the normal, like, they always live with 7 people?
I don't know.
That's the real question. Wasn't really gone into.
So, some more notes on Danielle. She was talking about her ex-husband, Mohammed, and she said, we divorced after 34 months. Who says 34 months? You say, let me do the math for you. This is 2 years, 10 months.
You say almost 3 years.
Yeah, who says 34 months? It's not the only time you measure stuff in months that long is babies. And you stop measuring babies in months at 2 years. That's kind of the norm.
Here's also when you measure it like that. It's when you're counting down the time to when you want it to end.
No, there's one other situation, jail. They always, at least in TV shows and movies, it's always like 34 months to go.
That's fair. Pregnancy too, I guess, but like...
You're 34-month pregnant?
No! I'm just saying, like, the only time you talk about more than 3 months is these 3 situations, I feel.
It's true. Jail definitely you would say I was in for like 34 months.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying that you only say that when you're counting down the time, like when you want it to end.
Maybe she's just remembering the best time in her life. There's like
and that was before this.
Maybe the marriage was like a jail.
Yeah, but if you're not counting, I think it was best. I think it's the opposite. I think it was the best.
No, I did too. She
and
seemed
he
very
left.
confident.
So like,
best you're saying almost 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, so like in general, she seemed very wholesome, just like trying to make the best of things. She was working still, so it was like still emotionally kind of normal. Loved having her kids around, so like feel like it's more quarantine that they're around more often than before. Just for that fact alone, but in general, there wasn't a whole lot going on like story-wise. It was really just setting the scenario, which I described in a sentence. So,
yeah, there wasn't that much like story going on here beyond just like that's a lot of people.
She was boring.
Next, yeah.
I bet it'll come better like in coming episodes. I think that this has potential, unlike number 1.
So you keep talking about the next episodes. Do they stay with the same people every episode?
Yes.
That's usually how 90 Day Fiancés worked before, but like maybe this time they just go to all these different ones. I don't know.
Well, sometimes they add people in subsequent episodes, but usually it's like they'll follow like 5-6 couples, which they could follow like 10 couples here. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you want to go quickly back to the corner,
Corner me.
From the first, what do you want to call it? Cult, yeah. What should we call these?
A singleton.
Couple?
The first partition of the episode.
First chapter.
First chapter. Thank you. So I got the deets about Larissa, who was his fiance wife,
And arrested 3 times.
Larissa dos Santos Lima. They met online, which most of these couples seem like they met online. Like Andy met that girl through email. They said, which is just bizarre. How do you meet on email?
All right. What's going on with her?
Yeah, but
What's up with Larissa?
I digress. So they married. Larissa was arrested for domestic battery.
Ugh.
Following an alleged fight between the two, Colt filed for divorce days after the incident. Larissa, though, has photos of her being in a bloody face, claiming that Colt gave her the bloody face. Bloody, lacerated face. Unclear if Colt was ever, actually convicted of that. Larissa's the one that did go to jail, though, for arrested for domestic battery. So it did not end well. That said, it does give some credence to my assumption that Colt is a big timer on 90 Day Fiancé.
Okay.
They are one of the most volatile couples in franchise history.
Oh.
So that might be part of it.
So maybe everybody feels good for Colt because now it seems to be stable for him.
Now that he's got a boring normal life, let's be happy for him.
Yeah, maybe exactly what we didn't like is 90 Day Fiancé light.
I mean, this show like to take a step back is like definitely like you have to be in the 90 Day Fiance like purview almost to understand what's going on. I think it's way more interesting if you know these people before.
Yeah.
And have been following them in their like TLC life. So let's go to the last couple. We got Elizabeth and Andre from Moldova. Elizabeth's 29. I didn't get Andre's age.
He's 34.
34. And they have a baby named Eleanor, which is 14 months. 14 months. So the ordeals that happen during this episode, they go grocery shopping. They're running out of money, but she keeps spending money, which is obviously not great. They're like wearing a mask, which we probably need to talk about that. And Andre is just shirtless like the whole episode almost. Unless he was in public, he was shirtless.
It helps them save money.
I got a couple other minutiae, but yeah, this couple definitely the second. I feel like the second most interesting. I feel like there was
Sure, yeah.
But,
I don't know. I'd put them up there like number one. Like they were actually also pretty fun and generally engaging. Also showed a bit of like the crazy life. I didn't feel like Annie and David had that much to show. They reflected some of like the racism there, which is awesome, but not the actual that, but like reflecting that. I don't know. I'd put Andre above that.
There was, when they first started showing them, there was some comment that was like, he said like it's torture being around you all the time, but he said it in this kind of Eastern European accent, and you couldn't tell if he was being sarcastic or not.
wait, what was that?
He told her it's torture being around you all the time, but due to his strong Eastern European accent, I wasn't 100% sure if he was being sarcastic or not.
To me, it seems.
So to give you some minutia around, I've seen the season where they got married, and it was really troubling to me because so Elizabeth was like talking about Andre. Andre was really controlling. It was very like a patriarchal society, and like she was like, yeah, sometimes she used to go out with her girlfriends and go to like clubs and stuff, and Andre was like, not when I get there. You're not doing that. No. Like stuff like that. I was like, why am I'm not rooting for this relationship. It's garbage.
I rescind my number one vote.
So like, I don't know if he's loosened up in the 90 Day Fiance universe, but like, I don't know.
Initial
like,
reaction to that.
Like her sisters were like really upset with it, like trying to get her to be like, look, you don't want to be in like this like backwards relationship. Like you're an American, you're America, like this is gonna be weird for you. But she was like, my man gets to choose everything. It's fine. It's my man. This is uncomfortable. So
yeah.
That's where I come in with this relationship. And now they have a kid, so like that was like many moons ago at this point. So who knows?
Yeah. Coming in fresh, like I have no history, it kind of seemed like a better couple. I don't know.
I did get like minor flashes of sort of what Chris was saying. But
she was doing.
I don't know.
Was she the one doing all the cooking, cleaning?
She started it off by saying, "I can't believe it. My husband's doing the dishes" or something.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like this is a very.
But that also kind of sounded playful. It's like she was like, "Oh yeah, my husband's doing the dishes. It's like the end of the world."
Like without that background, I didn't really think much of that line of my husband's doing the dishes, rather than like a normal couple banter. Like, wow, you're actually doing that chore. Like, haha.
It is entirely possible they gave him a good edit for episode 1.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. They seem to be doing okay in this quarantine, which can be stressful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As a couple, they seem fine. This chapter though had a very odd shower scene.
Oh yeah.
That it's bizarre. That's the best way of putting it. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, Andre, as we discussed, has been shirtless this whole time. He's just
And he
like,
was wearing
I'm
a
gonna
shirt
go
in
take
the
a
shower.
shower, puts the phone behind the shower head, and just films him like literally showering and giving him tips on how to shower. Like, you gotta wash your butt vigorously. You're just like, what the fuck? Why are you filming that? Why are you showing this to me? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, like, why are you giving us tips on showering? Like, it could be entertaining. It's not even meant to be entertaining. It's like a bad practical on how to wash yourself.
I think Kramer needed this.
It was very odd, but I will say, like, I was entertained because something that wasn't just quarantine life was going on.
I mean, he definitely is one of the only people in this whole hour that has like a personality that's not just like dry as bones,
That's fair.
right?
Yeah.
Like, he's funny, he's a little quirky. Like, he has his issues, but like, I think he's the only one kind of with a personality, other than like
Sure.
Annie and him. Like, you could watch them do stuff. Like, what am I watching Colt do? They like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty? Like, not doing that.
That's fair. No, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, he did throw in some like good snark when going grocery shopping. Like, I could watch him go grocery shopping a couple times.
Yeah, you want to watch Danielle go grocery shopping?
Right? No.
Like, no thanks.
I don't want to watch Andre go grocery shopping because he's wearing a shirt then. Game over.
And a mask. The one thing that, like, we notice, I mean, as we are talking now is like, you know, in April or late April, they were like, everyone should wear a mask all the time when you're out in public because, like, it'll help with the spread of the disease or whatever. So, like, this is before that edict, essentially, I think. I don't know the exact timelines. So, like, a lot of people weren't wearing masks, and that's the immediate thing I noticed was like, oh, people aren't wearing masks. So, like,
Yeah, it was just about the time they, like, if we pinpoint it to like late March, it was just about the time where like they're like, yeah, you should probably start to do it, but before the government's like, no, do it.
so, like, by the time they get to this grocery shopping thing, he's wearing a mask. So we're like, oh, yeah. Well, we're getting a little bit further along the timeline, I guess. And at the end of the episode, it ended with, like, them sitting there doing, like, a puzzle. And Andre's just like, yeah, we can do this puzzle where we could have sex. And, like, Elizabeth, yeah, I guess we could have sex. And just sits there and still does the puzzle. It's kind of a weird way to end the episode and a weird tonal way to do, like, say that. And I don't know, mean it in some way, I guess. I don't know.
I think they meant it. Just you know, find the right piece to make the puzzle.
You know?
Put the piece in the right spot.
Yeah, and that's kind of the episode. I mean, that's the episode. Unless any of us any other minutia they want to go over.
I just never really thought about doing a puzzle shirtless, and now all of a sudden it's a possibility.
You could do it right now, Brian. You could podcast shirtless.
I could.
Just pop that shirt off right now, Brian. What are you doing?
If only like I wasn't wearing headphones right now, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
You wearing a shirt at home? What's wrong with you? Pump that heat.
Next week, we'll just live stream this, Facebook.
Wait till
There we go.
Oh, there we go. No, yeah.
There we go.
Wait till Seattle's like 90 degrees and you're sitting in your apartment with no AC. You're gonna be shirtless for sure.
100%.
I would be shirtless. I don't want my neighbor to see me shirtless right now.
Why is your
What does it
neighbor
matter?
looking at you?
I'm just saying, I live at kind of an angle in the building, so like if they look out the window, they're gonna see me shirtless.
My neighbors have seen me naked probably many times. You need to lower the bar.
That's fair, but your neighbors are across the street from you. This is literally kitty corner with me. A little different.
A little.
So I got two questions there. Noah, was Beverly there naked as well? Have people seen Beverly naked?
You don't need to answer that.
I speak for myself.
And
Yeah,
Max,
Yeah.
I have a question. Well, I guess it's not for Max, it's for the other two. Have you heard of catty corner before? When was the last time you used the term catty?
I say kitty,
Corner or
not
kitty
cat.
corner?
I say kitty. Other people say catty.
I feel like it's kitty. I don't know. Now that you said it, I've screwed myself up.
Yeah. No, totally.
I say diagonal.
You're weird. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I would like to do a 5-minute activity after the pod. But anyway.
All right.
Wait, no, before we leave this topic, Mac, but why are you taking off your shirt is not a big thing.
I agree. I've done it before. I just I don't know.
Like, I have my shirt off, as you can tell.
Fine, fuck it.
Yeah. Now, if I took my pants off, I can understand why you might have some restraint.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
Yeah.
All right. Before
Getting wild on the podcast, folks.
Before we get to ratings, let me rank the 5 couples. So let's get a quick ranking going.
Are we going from worst
your
best or
favorite
best?
to your worst?
Okay. Worst is number 1. Cold and Cole's mom.
We just said we were going favorite to worst, Brian.
Oh, damn it. I missed that. Okay, favorite is got to be Annie and David.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Number 2 is, I hate to say it, I still like Elizabeth and Andre.
You can speak your truth, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
number 3.
they're definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, Danielle and Muhammad. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. No,
Han
Danielle.
wasn't in it.
Yeah, Danielle. And then, yeah, I wrote this down. I wrote my notes down hey, here's their 90-day couple thing, and I have to wipe them out if they're not an actual couple now. Second last is Courtney and Andy, and then finally we got Colt and Colt's mom.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's the ranking. It's the official Who Put This On ranking.
I would. The only thing I would flip would be Colt and Andy and I forgot the girl's name. Yeah.
Andy and Courtney?
Andy and Courtney. I put them at the bottom and Colt a notch above.
Oh, just because he's one's boring, the other one's just a little toxic.
Yeah, and I think Colt has more promise with his mom.
Yeah, I need more data on both of them. I think that they both could redeem themselves in episode 2, but episode 1 was just dud for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but want to see more Annie and David. Hopefully, we'll see them on OnlyFans or something.
All right, so let's get the ratings. I don't know. Max, what do you got for me?
Bottom third, top of the bottom. It was fine. I don't want to watch anymore.
Brian, what do you got?
I want to say middle of the bottom. So it's just it's just YouTube, and not that great of it. At least episode 1. But I'm not really willing to give it another shot.
Noah, what do you got?
Middle of the bottom. The only thing keeping it out of the bottom of the bottom is giving a shot on trying to make something new during the quarantine. So I give them the credit for that, but it's not interesting. And I actually thought before we got into this, it would actually be 90 Day Fiancé, but somehow through quarantine, not just go back to our all-star contestants.
Sure, yeah.
So I think they had a missed opportunity on doing something actually kind of cool. Middle of the bottom.
I mean, I like the show, I think, more than all 3 of you. I think I'm going to put it in the middle. I think that it's, I agree with you. It is, in a grand scheme of things, not good, all quantifiably. But once I got past the first person, I was like way more invested. Like the first person was so bad, but overall, I think it was kind of nice to see how people are living. Like it's like we're all living it. And it's easier for me to feel invested, and I knew some of the people, so it's like I am personally more invested than everyone else. So as these shows will probably go, the more you know, the better you're going to feel about it. So that's how I feel. I guess another timely thing that is coming up now, I don't really want to get into it too much, but like a lot of protests around the whole country, and we just want to give a shout out to Black Lives Matter in terms of like we support everything that's going on, and there's lots of injustice in this world. So while everyone's giving their voice out there, I think we should too as well. I know that here in Seattle there's been a lot of protests, so I know I've actually been out a couple times, and it's not over yet, and we'll see where things go. So that's all I want to say about it. I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything about it.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And not to be forgotten, we are in Pride Month as well. Obviously, the movement happening now for Black Lives Matter, super important, but we also don't forget about our other brothers and sisters, all on the Pride side.
Do we have to we put this on Pride Month? Gay shows only?
That'd be fun.
Yes. We already screwed the month up. It's already in the month.
Well,
yeah.
We can do a special.
we can do at least one or two.
So I managed to watch the season opener for Below Deck Mediterranean, which premiered this week. I was not a huge fan. I'm kind of upset James and Harrison aren't here for me to yell at them and see what their opinions are on it, but I was just like, I don't know. I didn't like it. And I don't really know exactly how to put my feelings around it, but I'll give it another episode or two and see how it goes, because when we watch these, we only watch one, and I feel like you got to watch a couple to really get who these people are, so we'll see.
Is it still the same captain?
It's still the same captain, but I don't recognize anyone else.
Okay.
Did they change the format, or just like they bed people on? Like what's so meh about it?
I don't know. Like they changed the opening a little bit. Like they really rushed a person on. Like they didn't really intro the people that well, like on the show, and it was like, and I don't know what it was about it. I feel like I just needed more time to know who these people were, and like there just wasn't a whole lot of trouble going on as far as I could tell. So maybe that was also part of it. I don't know. That's why I was saying it's hard for me to put my feelings out there, because it's like, but I just didn't enjoy episode 1. So anyone else been watching anything?
Go ahead, Brian.
Start a little bit at Space Force.
Oh yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's really fitting with all this stupidity that's going on right now.
Yeah, this is the show for the Trump era. It really is. It's like anytime Steve Carell says POTUS wants this, I'm like, oh, that makes complete sense. And the way that he just takes it so seriously and just goes and does it, and it's just that to me is the humor of the show.
Mm.
You got to go in knowing it's not he cracked a joke. It's POTUS wanted this done, and then he goes around and tries to get it done and does it, and then the people around him are like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. And that's also, I think, part of the humor of the show.
Initially, I was really worried, because they announced this show's script, or this show was coming, very soon after the actual announcement.
Of the Space Force.
Yeah. So I was like, That's real rushed, like for even just an idea. I don't know where you're going to go with it.
I don't know if they might have had the idea before Trump.
No. They announced it like 3 days after Space Force.
Yeah, but the Space Force has been an idea thrown around a lot of times in like military circles. Just Trump is like, I'm the founder of the Space Force.
I guess.
I mean, they've had combat. I don't even call it. They've had like weapons and tactics for a long time, but they just never had the dressing of like calling it like a new branch. It was just like some unit of the Army or the Marines. Like it was already there.
I believe it was under the Air Force.
Yeah, it's just now just not a branch of the Air Force. Just like how the Air Force was in the Navy.
It probably still is. It's literally probably just like putting paint on a house. It's like Trump trying to make something out of whatever bullshit he's trying to do.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone want to shout out anything before we head out?
I would like to offer a correction from last week. I said Solar Opposites was bad. I would like to correct this to, of season 1, the first 2 episodes are bad. Then there's like a couple that are middling, and the last 2 are really, really upsetting.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I got a few plugs. If you guys haven't watched it, it's not new. Season 2 came out like a month ago. It's called Shrill on Hulu.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, really good. It's 80 Bryant from SNL. It's her show. It's just a very good show. It's a comedy. I'd recommend it. Been rewatching Breaking Bad. I have one more episode to go to then finish the series again. Still holds as the best show ever made. Flat out. So enjoyable watching it again.
Before we go, I have a question for Noah.
So wait, did you just watch? Wait, no.
I need the Selling Sunset update, Noah. How was season 2?
I haven't watched it yet. For all the shit you guys give me about it, like, I liked it, but I actually don't like it that much.
You watched all of season 1. You gotta get on this.
For the whole, for the pod, I go along with the bit. It's fine.
You're breaking your bit right now, Noah.
I know, because you're calling me out on it. Maybe I'll get to it. I have some free time tonight. Maybe I'll watch S2E1, see how it.
I need the Selling Sunset update.
Yeah, I will try my best.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us this week. You can find us on Twitter at WhoButTheSun. You can find us on Facebook.com/WhoButTheSun. Give us questions and suggestions at WhoButTheSun@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys next time.
Max here. I would like to talk to you guys about Scientology.
Max had me hooked on this whole Scientology thing, and I really want to know more. But he left me hanging. So now I'm just going to go do my own independent research and probably join up.
Brian, what is your feet on this?
Is that my horniness level? Because if so, very
You
high.
don't know about your feet levels? Oh, you got to come in and get your feet checked out.
My metachlorians are off the scale, but my feet-ins are kind of low.